How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Rowlet, and welcome to Poke Forward. Today we got ourselves some Pokemon news, leaks, rumors, stuff to talk about, but let's start with the official news first and foremost. Starting off with this post right here, shared to us by Light. Basically, he's saying that apparently Omori, if you guys don't know who Omori is, one of the main guys over at the Game Freak company, Pokemon company, etc., who actually works on the games. He usually directs the games. And he basically said that we should be paying attention to the Pokemon Day Presents, that something big is going to be happening. But yeah, basically something big might be happening during that time. Well, it's going to be most likely the DLC, but we're going to talk about something else. So first of all, official news. This right here is a brand new character for the Pokemon anime. So you guys already know the anime is moving on. They're making a brand new kind of set of characters, main characters, stuff. They're basically like resetting it. Ash is no longer going to be the main character. Instead of this female character and whatnot. But basically what's going on is that we have now this weird, strange situation where this is like going to be one of the companions. So we're giving you first look at two characters for the upcoming all-new Pokemon animated series, introducing Freed and his partner Pokemon, Captain Pikachu, who accompany our protagonist during their adventures. So stay tuned, trainers. Basically, this character is a way for them to keep Pikachu in the anime, to keep him there, right? Just the biggest reason. It also might be possible that this character is related to Kiawe because of the stamps on his, jacket, and also a possible connection from the podcast here, that, two things. One, the emblem on Captain Pikachu's hat looks like a Terra emblem, and two, we're gonna put money on that Pikachu being a flying type, call it a hunch. Well, yeah, it's a captain, and it looks like either a sailor or I guess a pilot of sorts, right? Could be a pilot, because the character who's with him, Freed, he does look like a pilot, like it's a pilot's jacket, pilot's goggles, etc. So yeah, it does seem like that might be the case. And also, there's this brand new thing. If you guys haven't seen this, this is the first trailer for an animated short Pokemon Journey of Dreaming Together series, which is a China exclusive thing. Basically, it's really cool. They just show off like this kid playing the Pokemon games on all the different consoles, which looks really cool actually. And yeah, it's just going to be a little animated show that's going to be out in Japan. Sorry, in China. I keep saying Japan. But it's going to be in China, so that's going to be interesting. That's a whole separate thing. That's happening. But now let's move on to more of the speculative stuff, because we got loads of that to talk about. So sit back, relax, and let's do this. So we start things off with this right here. Have you noticed the animation for the Terra Orb is the same as sending out a new Pokemon? Now, who's posting it? This is Soul Silver, who is a theorist and also a leak analyst. He also breaks down a lot of rumors, riddles, and all stuff like that. And he continues to say, you already sent your Pokemon into battle, but then you resend out crystals that overtake your Pokemon. Are the crystals sentient? Have we been sending out the third legendary this whole time? Basically, he's just showing this animation right here. You guys know how it works. And then we send out our terrestrialized Pokemon, which, rather we're sending out this Terra Orb that terrestrializes our Pokemon. He says, this explains why we terrestrialize. Well, we see the 3 L's eyes, or the third legendary's eyes, on the heads of the Pokemon. And we know 100% that the third legendary is related / the cause of the Terrastall phenomena. The game also suggests that the crystals are basically an invasive species taking over most of Area Zero, the lower strata, the trees, etc., and even growing up onto the surface of the Paldea as raid dens. At the very least, the crystals are an extension of the third legendary's power. We are also told that the crystals are what powers so many things in Scarlet and Violet, and even the AI Sada and Turo harness their power or are consumed / taken over by them, depending on how you look at it. Much more on this last point in a future thread, which he actually has that thread now, which we're going to go into. So here is where he goes into that. So he has this big post. The third legendary is notorious for controlling others. Its eyes are on all the Terra hats, which is true. It once took over Heath, and I also believe it's the Paradise Protection Protocol. So it must have taken over the professors in the past, and now the AI too. I found a hidden message when the second battle, begins against AI Turo. His dialogue flickers, and we see the same blocked out writing that we see when the third legendary is being written about. It's in that flickering, 2 curious lines pass by. One, that's a mix of all the words there, but then there's some random D. It's almost like, looks like the beginning of the third legendary's name. Then there's the other line, which says, AI Turo has no intention of fighting anymore. In the first battle, it was the professor who set the AI failsafe. But who is fighting now if the AI is no longer fighting? And why are they now covered in crystals inside and out? Which, yes, you guys can see the references to what he's talking about right here. And you guys can pause the video if you need to. So yeah, you're challenged by, the Paradise Protocol, and you are challenged by to do door control, and yeah, it just kind of glitches out. I'm sorry, children, you must run. AI churro disabled. Paradise Protocol protection protocol initialized. So again, very strange, very interesting, but let's continue. And this is all a reference to something you already talked about before, which is this post right here, which specifically goes into, again, the stuff we already talked about earlier and all that, with like the time machine and all that kind of stuff. But we continue on down further. It's because they have literally terrestrialized, and instead of being a crown on their heads, the third legendary is actually inside the robot and changes the robot's eyes. Before the final battle, you can see the AI Sada is stunned and questioning about the professor's motives. It's because the Paradise Protection Protocol wasn't the professor's motives, but the third legendaries. The real question is, what does it truly want to achieve? What is its dream? We really don't know why it wants to keep bringing Paradox Pokemon into our world and time. I think it wants to recreate its former paradise with them. You can see my speculation in the tweet below. And of course, you guys can go further into that. Speaking of motives, you can also see that the third legendary seems to be speaking through them, talking about not letting us stop its paradise/dream. These lines and it taking over an AI are why I believe the third legendary is part of AI itself and other parts of the old arcane being. In the first, in the first screenshot, it's saying that the data is telling it it's the superior being. Whether that's the third legendary giving the husk of the AI this data, or the actual third legendary itself speaking, we don't know. But the energy from the crystals at Area 0 can alter machines. And it's more than the Paradise Protection Protocol, too, though. Since I believe the crystals are somehow an extension of the third legendary, the power of its crystals basically caused the whole plot and gimmick of Scarlet and Violet and are powering everything in Area 0. They are and have been powering all the AI all along too. So yeah, again, the crystals here in Area 0 possess particular energy. This energy can alter the function of living things and optimize the performance of machinery. It is the same energy that allows Pokemon to terrestrialize, which yes, it is true. They are also why I cannot leave this place. So yeah. Either way, and an eerie final point back to the blocked out letters that we only see when a third legendary or its name are mentioned. Why is its name blocked out? And who blocked it out of any recorded history? And what did it do to deserve that? Or is it doing that, or is it doing that to hide itself and its own name from the world? And if so, why? Which, yes, again, really cool theories. If you guys want to go further into this, I would highly recommend it. Check out the whole, post yourself and read more into it and go to each individual, theory, because there's a bunch of theories here. We already covered a lot of them. I think we even covered this one. That what the third legendary is going to be based on and all that. I would highly recommend it. And I actually think I may have discovered a tiny thing. I could be totally wrong about this. I don't know. I haven't really done much of whatever is in the post game of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but if you play Scarlet and Violet, if you guys have actually gone to this room. Now, this is the room right before you go into Area 0, right? If you want to go to Area 0, you go to the side over here. If you want to go to Area 0, you don't go to the left side, right? Whichever game you're playing, I think you gotta go to the side over here with the yellow floor, which is interesting because what I notice is if you look at every single Pokemon Scarlet and Violet storyline, so you have the Victory Road, the Starfall Street, and you also have, of course, Victory Road, Starfall Street, and the Herba Mystica storyline. If you look at all three of these, they all have an associated color to all of them, right? All of them have a color that's associated to them, right? That matches with their story. You got yellow for, I think you got yellow for the Starfall Street one. You've got red for another one, and you got green for Arven's storyline, right? So all of them have a specific color and a name for their storyline, in the game that's associated to them. And here's the thing. There is a fourth storyline, which is the post-game, when you go down into Area 0. And guess what color it uses? It uses a orangish tint of color. Now, you guys can't see it here, but I'm going to make my screen smaller so you guys can see it. If you actually look around the edges, around the edges here of when you're entering here, when it says the way home. The way home specifically has a yellow, kind of like yellowish, orangish outline that matches perfectly with that of the ground that we then, or rather to the entrance here into Area 0, right down here. Let me just show you. Right there, this entrance. It matches the color because that's where that story is going to go to take place. So I'm wondering if maybe because this door has a more of a bluish color, that might hint at us going back into that door down there. Maybe Penny goes and fixes that door. Because right now, if you interact with that door, I think it literally just tells you that you can't go there. Like, you guys can see me trying to interact with stuff. I think if you try to go down there, it legitimately just tells you can't go there. There's the door is closed. Something along those lines. Yeah, the shutter on the side doesn't seem like it'll open. Perhaps it's broken. which, yeah, pretty much just tells you can't go down there, which makes me wonder, are we going to return here? Are we actually going to be, is this going to be, because we know that there's going to be definitely DLC, and one of these DLC is definitely going to take us back into Area Zero of some sorts. Is it possible that this door leads to some secret part of Area Zero? That's what I'm thinking. Nobody's really talked about this entrance. Nobody mentions it. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you can do something with this in the game already. Maybe I just haven't played enough Scarlet and Violet, but I've replayed the game as many times now, and at no point have I been able to enter this area, as far as I'm aware. Again, if I'm mistaken, you can comment down below, but it's strange that this door even exists. If they just didn't want it to be accessible, why put it there, right? You wouldn't put it there and even have a text line for it if it's not going to serve some purpose. And given the fact that the floor is colored blue, and none of the main stories that you do in the game are colored with that color, and I do think that every story in the game is going to be related to one of the DLC, every new story, right? So for example, if we get 2 DLC, one of them might be called The Journey into Area Zero, and the other one might be called A Summer Excavation. And then if there's a third DLC, it could be called like An Adventure to Kalos or something like that. You know what I mean? How they all have kind of a specific name. The Victory Road, Starfall Street, the Titan one. I don't remember what the Arvin one is called. But this is what I'm thinking, is that this possibly might be where we're going, and that's going to have some kind of theme with Area Zero to do, and then we might have maybe 3 DLC in this run. So again, this is just a bit of a theory of mine, a bit of speculation. I want to hear what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. But let's move on to 2 final things for this video. So this is a 4chan post, so we're going to finish the video off with the 4chan posts. There is 2 big ones. Actually, there's 3 ones, but there's 2 big ones. So this one says, hey, I am something, not relevant, and today I'm going to be clearing up some things about the future of Scarlet and Violet. Some of you have correctly guessed or been told about the DLC, and yup, that's correct. The Pokemon Company has a lot of special things for you this year. But for now, they'll be kept as a mystery. Winky face. So let's begin. 2 DLC. Well, that was quite obvious. The DLC announcement, this is what he said, but I'm not saying that's obvious, but yeah, even though guaranteed that we're going to get DLC. If it's going to be 2 or 3, we don't know. But either way, the DLC announcement is basically teasing concept art and some 3D models. Same happened with Sword and Shield. 2 regional forms, evolutionary lines, okay, fair enough. 2 new Paradox Pokemon for each version, 4 in total, okay. The 3rd Legendary will appear in the 2nd DLC, involving the exploration of new zones from Area Zero. Some sketches are shown in the trailer. Okay, cool. Yes, the 3rd book is real, alright, which makes sense that it would be. The Draconic Drop, Scarlet, and the Iron Musketeer for Violet are the names of the imagined Pokemon from Heath's book. Very different names comparing to their Japanese names, and with what I was thinking. Both are semi-bipedal. Okay. The 3rd Legendary is Halisk, the Planet Pokemon, Ground Dragon, and 2 forms, with 2 forms, I guess. Base form is my favorite one, in my opinion, whatever. DD, IM, and Halisk are shown in the 3D cinematic at the end, like Urshifu and Calyrex, but their names aren't shown. You saw that here. DLC 1, Beyond Reality. DLC 2, Beyond Imagination. Oh, sounds like pretty decent names. Mythical Pokemon that have been abbreviated in the post. In this post, there's also something, nothing of information yet about. That's a lot for today. Hope you take a look at the next 28th, on the 28th. Literally be surprised by our folks from Pokemon. All right, we'll see if this is going to be the case. Keep this in mind. Come back to this video if you need to, if this ends up being real, because it will be intriguing to see if that is true. And let's take a look at another one of these posts. This one in particular says, so it says, Skabai DLC League. I'm a programmer at the Pokemon outsourcing company. My English is very poor, so I used machine translation to complete this post. The theme of the DLC is Hidden Treasure and Hidden Treasure of Area Zero and Hexagon. It doesn't seem that likely. Version 1.2 includes the dressable clothes as a reward for DLC purchases. Well, version 1.2 is already coming out, so that doesn't make sense. I'm guessing it means something else. He says it will include something called... I'm not even going to try to read that. These 2 names, you guys can read that if you can see it on the screen. Maybe you guys actually can't see it. That's pretty bad of me. You guys can maybe read it right there. Those 2. These are the Paradox Suicune and Paradox Virizion, and apparently they're going to be Water Dragon, and they're going to be Grass Esper, I guess, Psychic. A mystery Pokemon with a green mask is going to be the game. Special Terrasol appearances. The 3rd legendary Pokemon is Large Blue Turtle, and we're working on graphics enhancement patch for the new Nintendo Switch models. They'll be released alongside DLC 2. Again, this one I would definitely argue is more likely to be fake, but again, it is what it is. With the final thing being this post right here. This was shared by Light, so shout out to Light on Twitter. But basically, this person is also making one of these posts about what the leak is going to be, but let's see what it has to say. I actually enjoy these. They're fun to read. It's kind of like a nice little, like wish list, sort of. And sometimes they end up being real, so that's why it's fun to cover it. By the way, DLC coming called Elemental Expedition and Justice Recon for Scarlet and Violet, respectively, coming in April. The 2nd DLC is Terrasol Origins and will cover Legendary Turtles. Okay, or a specific legendary turtle, which is, I guess, the third one. Now, there's a new water-type cucumber pig-like Pokemon. Okay, that's a very specific description. And a new poison-type rooster, convergent species of Muck and Excadrill. That sounds pretty sick. Regional forms of Gulpin, which is fighting-type, dark-type Alakazam. That would be really sick. And ground-type Spheal. Oh, that'd be actually really cool, man. You meet a younger versions of Turo and Sada. Interesting. And 2 new evolutions for Tyrogue, Fighting Dragon and Fighting Bug. It looks like a lizard, and the other one is a mantis. Female evolution for Swoobat is Psychic Dark. There's also an evolution for Convergent Muck, Psychic Electric, and it has some mechanical parts in its body. Again, it's a very short one. Not gonna lie, it does sound pretty fun. But again, whatever, dude. I mean, a lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense, if I'm gonna be honest. A lot of this stuff just doesn't make it. It sounds fun, but this is definitely fake. But I thought it'd be fun to cover it because I like covering these. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much going to be it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe and keep up to date with the channel. But yeah, thank you for the support. We hit 1.5k subs, which is awesome. So thank you for all that. Appreciate the love, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.